What's up, guys? Welcome back to Newswave. So as we head towards April 2nd with the big Switch 2 blowout reveal, we are still getting some bits and pieces here and there with the recent filing, shedding some light on maybe a feature that could be coming to the next generation platform, and one that was missing from the Switch, sort of, and well, caught a lot of criticism around Nintendo's strange implementation of it, and we'll go over that here today. Also, we are going to be talking about a big anniversary that's currently happening, and a lot of concerns that Square Enix might fumble this one again. And then we'll also be talking about a really funny headline that was going around when it comes to a customer trading stuff in to a GameStop, and I wanted to highlight it because I've actually gone through this just from the other side of the counter. So if you guys enjoy these videos, make sure you hit that like button, helps out a ton. And if you're new here to the Spawn Wave channel, make sure you subscribe down below. And of course, members for the channel do get Newswave early. If you would like to learn more about that, click the join button or the link in the description down below. And we're gonna start today with Blizzcon, which hasn't happened since 2023, so it's been a couple of years. Well, now it looks like it is making its big return. We can see this posted up over on their website, where they say, Blizzcon is back. The ultimate celebration of our games and the community that unites us is returning to the Anaheim Convention Center Saturday, September 12th and Sunday, September 13th. Great news. That's, like 6 months away? Well, hold on. This is actually in 2026. Yeah, they appear to have announced it a year and a half in advance for some reason. Maybe because it's been gone for almost 2 years. They decided we'll give them a year and a half like head start or notice, just let people know, head start. Hey, get ready for this, which the last time Blizzard had their big event, what they did, like expansions for Diablo 4, World of Warcraft. I know infamously they had the situation around Diablo and like phones and stuff, but this is a big event for fans, of course, with Blizzard and stuff. So it is good to see it making its return. It's just going to be a little while there in 2026. So at least you have plenty of time to book your hotels that I'm sure will be incredibly expensive. Also, we do have a Silent Hill stream to look forward to tomorrow. This we can see over on their official account, where they say, join us for the Silent Hill transmission, where we'll share the latest news streaming March 13th at 3 p.m. Pacific. This transmission will uncover Silent Hill F. We will share the stream link soon, so watch this space. Now, if I'm not mistaken, Silent Hill F, I believe, is being made by Neo Bard, and they've done a lot of work with Capcom, with contract work for ports and remasters, and they did some work, I believe, with Resident Evil, like the pack-in title with Resident Evil 3, and really the big thing here is they haven't done any like major release that's just focused in on them completely for an original work, like what we're going to see here with Silent Hill F, so I am interested to see what they come up with here, and who knows, maybe some other surprises here and there, as we do see Silent Hill just becoming more and more of a focus now for Konami, especially after the success of Silent Hill 2. Seems like we're going to continue branching out into media even outside of games. So while we're going to see Silent Hill F, could have some other surprises there for the franchise tomorrow, so we'll see. Oh, and it looks like we had a trademark here that, of course, is going to bring in a lot of hopium for fans, and I'm hoping it does actually turn into something, but we can see this was noticed by Gamatsu, where they say Capcom trademarked Dino Crisis on March 4th in Japan, which went public today, and man, Dino Crisis fans been going through it. Capcom put out their survey asking people what franchise they would like to see return, whether it's a new original IP, or a new original title, I should say, or a remaster or remake. Dino Crisis was top of the list, most voted by people in that survey. So I feel like Capcom is getting the message. It's just, if they just got the message recently, even the last 2 years, Dino Crisis wouldn't be ready anytime soon. They could show it in some way and hopefully not swerve people like they did before, when they showed the red-haired lady, and then they had dinosaurs, and then, oh yeah, that's not Dino Crisis, that's Exoprimal. And everyone got real excited online. But here's hoping there is something maybe a little further off in the distance, but I wouldn't even mind seeing them try to do a remake of just the first Dino Crisis game in RE Engine. That could be awesome just based on how the Resident Evil remakes ended up looking in that same engine. It could be really, really impressive with something like Dino Crisis. And guys, with some of the quick news out of the way, let's get into the bigger stuff. Let's start right away with a recent patent filing from Nintendo. And this leans in more to the software side for the Switch 2 as opposed to the hardware, which has certainly been like a big talking point. How powerful is the next system going to be? What are the games going to look like? What kind of games for third parties might be coming over that this new hardware can play? And it makes sense. The hardware is just linked to the game, sure. But I think there is a lot when it comes to the software side and the community side that could certainly see a ton of improvement from the current Switch, especially when it comes to voice chat. Let's face it, it was when they broke out the phone, the headset, and the spider web of cables you had to do to make it work, it just seemed weird and redundant. And it's like, hey, you can chat with people using your phone connected to the game. And it's like, well, why don't I just use my phone in Discord? Like, there's a lot of questions there as to why even going through that. And for people who used it, they said it did work well. It just seemed unnecessary to have that layered on top of the Switch while you're playing games online. Well, it seems like Nintendo may have heard that, as we can see this posted up. This is over on Nintendo Life, saying the patent was filed back in November 2024 before being published by the United States Patent Application Office late last month. The main thrust of the text and diagrams appears to outline something akin to in-game proximity chat, or as the summary confusingly puts it, when the sound heard by the user can be gradually switched from the sound acquired by the residual virtual microphone at the position before movement to the sound acquired by the virtual microphone at the current position. Now, this is indeed a patent that I feel like people were talking about a week or two ago, and I saw it, and people were sending it to me, and they still send it to me because, for example, Nintendo Life very recently covered it, I think 2 days ago, and I've kind of had this on the back burner wanting to get to it because I do think this is an important thing. Again, I know the games are like first and foremost. I just feel like the community aspect, the social aspect was kind of something that Nintendo lost a step with coming even from the Wii U to the Switch, and it's something I would like to see them improve on with the Switch too. I think their games in general for the Switch were great. I mean, you can look at it as like top tier, one of the best libraries we've ever seen in gaming. But on the flip side, it was a complete contrast to everything about going online and enjoying those games together for the most part. Now, in some of these diagrams, you can indeed see the virtual microphone, the residual microphone output level, with the idea being as you are closer and closer to, say, that source or that person, you'll be able to hear them better and better, right? So they'll be louder when they're closer, they'll be quieter when they're further away, which isn't new. We've seen this in many games. I mean, going back to, if you look back on like the original Xbox, I remember with Chaos Theory, when you were like playing spy versus mercenary, if you called a mercenary, you could say something to them before you took them out. And that's a whole thing there. I'm sure it was a lot of very polite language and stuff going back and forth. The original Xbox in 360 days, I'm telling you now, whole different world. Even more so than it is now online. But in this case, Nintendo, I think one of the big things they are going to talk about with the Switch 2 is how they are improving that community aspect. And maybe they won't be as terrified of voice chat as it seems like they were with the Switch. It's possible it had more to do maybe with the system level stuff and how they originally designed the OS out of the gate, because things have changed quite a bit in the 8 years since the Switch came out back in 2017. So maybe they realize, okay, there is more we can do, more untapped potential on the side of having like a Miiverse thing, or just a way for people to kind of come together and chat back and forth and share things even in their games. I mean, think about that. The recent like closed test that they did, and they did have like a hub where people would come together and kind of chat and talk and stuff. Like it was interesting to see that as kind of a focal point of that, almost like, again, a community aspect to that game. And we haven't heard anything since. Maybe it's just more or less them testing things out from afar to see how people would interact. But that is something to keep an eye out for. Maybe system level voice chat, not just in games, but maybe in a community application of some kind that will be there day one system level with the Switch. Next up, we had a very special anniversary for many, many people out there that happened yesterday, March 11th, where Chrono Trigger turned 30 years old. It's hard to believe it's been 30 years since that game came out, because I still remember going into, like, it was a local mom and pop rental store, and they had it there, and they had multiple copies, but they were constantly being rented out. It got to the point where you had to put your name on a list to get a chance at Chrono Trigger, and they would call you and you'd be like, Mom or Dad, we gotta go now. I need to get Chrono Trigger, because it was just constantly gone. And then, of course, save files were being deleted left and right. It was a whole thing back then with these cartridges. But it being 30 years old now, people are hoping that Square Enix might have plans, some way to celebrate Chrono Trigger. Well, we can see this posted up. This is over on Gematsu, as they did have the translation here. Square Enix did put this statement out. They say, to mark the 30th anniversary and to express our gratitude to everyone who has played Chrono Trigger so far, we are planning a variety of projects over the next year that will go beyond the world of the game. Please look forward to the latest information that will be posted via the Square Enix official X account and Chrono Trigger PR accounts. Man, if only there was a way to celebrate Chrono Trigger, a game that's not available on any modern console, and it would run on all of them. So it's hard to figure this out. What would work? How could we bring this game to more people? Sure, it's on Steam right now. It's on PC and it works well enough. But how could we? I got it. New mobile game. That makes sense, right? I mean, it's already on mobile, but like, let's just do it again. Let's just re-release it there. Then we could do that. Or, even better, Fortnite collaboration. Just brace yourself for that. It's Square Enix, okay? Everyone's building up right now. They should do a re-release, some physical re-release, 30th anniversary, like banner and print on it. Some behind the scenes stuff you can include on the cartridge or the Blu-ray disc. That would be awesome, right? Or even an HD 2D release. I saw people say, you should remake this thing and do that. That'd be awesome too. I would buy that day one. I think many of us would. Even if you don't have the history of it, I feel like it's been kind of built up enough to where you're like, you know what? I'll take a shot at this. I'll see what Chrono Trigger is all about. And I will say, I can't believe Square hasn't done that yet. At the bare minimum, port it to the Switch, the PlayStation 5, the Xbox Series. Just put it out there and let people buy this game. Even at $20, right? Put it out there. I think it'd be awesome. Physical release. I mean, they might shoot for the moon and say, hey, you know what? It's a $60 game. And I'd be like, okay, here's $60. I mean, look, if you get on a cartridge or a Blu-ray disc and some extra things there, and like I said, new cover art, that would be pretty awesome to see. But I am bracing for things like collaboration with different companies on merchandise, clothing lines, everything but a video game release. Or, yeah, even the collaboration. I'm joking. But would it really surprise anyone if one day you woke up and you got the message that Fortnite is doing a collaboration with Square for Chrono Trigger, and that was the big 30th anniversary celebration? I feel like there'd be a lot of people who would just cry out all at once online. And then you have the Fortnite community who's like, what game is that? Next up, let's talk about Skate, which is still apparently coming out in 2025, although closed alpha has been running, and it got a big update. It's about what you'd expect for a free-to-play game in EA. It's microtransactions, which, I mean, they gotta test them, right? Well, we can see this posted up. This is over on Insider Gaming. It says one of those updates from developer Full Circle is the addition of microtransactions to the current closed alpha playtest. This, according to a message sent to players that has been provided to Insider Gaming. Known as San Van Bucks, this in-game currency allows players to buy various cosmetic items. According to Full Circle, this is being added to make sure players have a positive experience when purchasing items from the Skate store. To ensure we achieve these goals at early access, we have enabled the option to purchase and use virtual currency San Van Bucks in our ongoing closed alpha playtest. Your feedback will be greatly appreciated in providing a great experience at early access launch. And they go on to say that they may have to reset servers and progress from time to time still because it's closed alpha. So apparently if you buy I know it sounds funny, buying microtransactions in an early access closed alpha setting. But if you do that and they reset progress, they'll just take your San Van Bucks and put them back in your wallet and you can respend them all over again. And I know it's annoying because it's microtransactions, but also it's free to play. It's a free to play game, so you kind of expect those to go hand in hand. The disappointment for me, my disappointment anyway, is that it wasn't just a premium priced $60 or $70 game and that was it, and it was just all encompassing and you didn't have the microtransactions. But we all know, you look at a game like Skate, it's gotta be one of the easiest things to have these kind of monetization practices with, because a lot of it is going to lean into the skate culture with cosmetics and decks and trucks and shoes and everything, right? You can do all of that and then kind of still keep it away from, we'll say, stat points or things that do affect gameplay. Again, it's free to play. I understand money has to come from somewhere. It's just more disappointing for me that they took this route with Skate, but maybe that was the only way it was going to come back in the first place, with EA looking for, of course, that big live service slam dunk, something that can be ongoing and not be a numbered series franchise release every 3 or 4 years. This is just going to be that ongoing thing for Skate. And the fact that it's in closed alpha right now makes me think that they're trying to figure out where the balance is for price around these different cosmetics with these Sandvan bucks, and still trying to fit it in where free-to-play players can still buy a shirt every week or so with the currency that they save up from actually playing the game. I will say, while I am put off from the free-to-play microtransaction nature of this, it's still free-to-play. It's still Skate. So I'll still download it and try it out when it comes out and see if it's something that really affects my time with it, where I'm like, oh wow, I really have to grind constantly in this game to get a new deck or a pair of shoes or something. If it becomes that noticeable to where it's more of a chore than anything else, then yeah, it'll probably slowly go on the back burner for me to where you kind of forget about it. But maybe they actually strike a good balance and it comes out as an awesome live service, free-to-play skateboard experience that actually a lot of people can enjoy and play consistently, so I guess we'll see at some point this year. And in our last bit of news, let's talk about our favorite retail store that is still clinging on for dear life, and that's GameStop. Because there was a story that was going around, a headline that looked really, really funny when you read like the one sentence or so, and it has to do with, of course, trade-ins, which we can see this posted up. This was covered by MP First, but also many other places. They were citing a Reset Era user who came to the forum and just kind of expressed their story of how they went to a GameStop and they had a PS4 Pro. They were going to trade it in, just console only, because the idea was, oh, we'll trade this in. I don't have anything to really hook it up or play with a DualShock 4 controller, and maybe I'll get a game or something. All right, so to my understanding, trade in for a PS4 Pro is like $70 or so. So they go in there with the console only, and they realize you don't have a controller, you don't have the HDMI cable, you don't have the charge cable, you don't have the power cable. Well, what do you do when you go to GameStop? You don't have those. You actually have to buy them off the shelf. And that's the thing that was kind of missing from those headlines. It's like you take the system in, you trade it in, and you have to pay money if you want to give them that PS4 Pro. This is actually not new. I've seen this happen before, where someone brought in like an older system. I think at the time it would have been like a PS2. I'm trying to think of the time frame here. It was a system, last gen system. The 360 was had really just came out. Would have been a PS2, and the person didn't have anything but the system. They got to the point where they had to buy the controller, buy the cables and stuff, and it went from, oh, you get like $40 in credit down to $5 in credit. And I'm like, it doesn't really make sense to trade this thing in, and they didn't. But really the idea is you need to have everything or you have to buy it off the shelf. Otherwise, in this case, they went into the negatives. So it looks weird on the computer, but yes, you would then owe them like $10 or something because you have to buy all the accessories to put with it. My advice though is if you have a PS4 Pro, go sell it on eBay, because even just console only, it's more than $100. The PS4 Pro, it's actually not lost it's lost value. Not like an overwhelming amount to where you'd expect it to be $50 or something. No, if you have the cables and the controller, it's like $200 actually. So that might be the route to go there, or even just throw it up on Craigslist, see if someone wants to buy it for $80 or even what you would have traded in for here, because the PS4 Pro is still a pretty cool system to hold on to, especially with where the homebrew community is heading right now. But that's just the way it goes with GameStop. Make sure you have your controller and cables if you head in there. Otherwise, they might end up asking you for money along with your console. And before we go to the comment of the day, we'll take a look at the poll that I posted up yesterday, where I ask, have you played Chrono Trigger? 55% say no. 45% though say yes. You know what? That's not bad. Again, it's not available on modern platform or consoles. It's on Steam, but it's not on modern consoles. It's on your phone, but I understand a lot of people, I'm sure, who are watching this are like, I don't really want to play that on my phone. Even on like PC, I guess you could play it on like a Steam Deck or something. That would at least be better. But I'm sure there are many out there who are thinking, you know, I wouldn't mind getting the Platinum in Chrono Trigger on my PS5 or all the achievements on my Xbox or play it on my Switch. it's just so weird to me for Square to not go, you know what, let's just drop it for 20 bucks on these platforms and probably make millions of dollars overnight just like that, and probably introduce many people who have never played this game for the first time. What an experience, by the way, to be able to play Chrono Trigger for the first time right now. And I mean, if you haven't played it, I urge you to seek it out in one way or the other. Emulation, hey, there you go. You can play it on your PC pretty easily there, or a number of other places. I'm actually working on some videos for some cheap emulation boxes and do some really, really impressive stuff for like $100 or less. So look out for that. But just, I do recommend trying this game out, see what you think of it. It's from the Super Nintendo days, but it still holds up really, really well. And we'll finish up with the comment of the day as you're seeing here. This is from Woody, who says, with AI-powered characters showing up in gaming now, I think back to playing Seaman on my Dreamcast. You know, that is funny. The AI stuff that was coming up, and I saw these characters, these avatars speaking back and forth, and you'd be able to talk to them. That did cross my mind. I was like, oh yeah, Leonard Nimoy and Seaman. That was... We've talked about the Dreamcast being ahead of its time. Another example. Although Hey You Pikachu was there too, but it wasn't really on the level of Seaman. But it's really funny to think that maybe Sega, they could get a pass for that, couldn't they? If they're like, hey, we're going to experiment with AI, let's make Seaman too. I think people would be so focused in on the idea that Sega is doing something as ridiculous as attempting Seaman 2 again, that the AI stuff would just fly right over their head, and Sega could probably release it and not really get a lot of backlash, just a lot of confusion. So Sega, you should try that. That would actually kind of shake things up and be sort of interesting. And ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it here for Newswave. If you enjoyed this video, guys, hit that like button. If not, hit the dislike. Leave comments down below about everything we talked about here today. If you missed yesterday's Newswave, I'll leave it up in a card. Or maybe you wanted to listen back to the latest episode of the Spawncast, I'll leave it right below it. Thanks, guys, for watching, and I'll see you next time.